Yeah. Hey man, all I'm saying is, nigga, you always got something to say. It's like you don't shut up. On the track.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled high, I ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hollering black was never on your side. They do maps to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man's zone. And I ain't talking shit, this by definition. If being savage was our nature, y'all be non-existent. We done took your ass out when we was in them kitchens. Instead of showing you how to live and how to maintain business. White supremacy fake, only way that shit really.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hit that like button, man. Let's get it started.
So dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them townhomes. What's a native to a native? He $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation. God's children. Give all your praise to Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's true with God and Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't gotta listen, so they don't. We came from the soil, wasn't fucking with no boats. Bible took our spirit, English potted on our homes. Tribal families turned on us, don't act like y'all don't know. But fuck them and they grudges. We was something turned to nothing. And now we nothing's turned to somethings. Reincarnation of ancients, fresh up out the oven. This the message to the black man. 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 Shooters on my roof, lawyers in the coop. We can never die, bitch, we bulletproof. This the message to the black man. This the message to the black man. Say you wasn't slaves, you was prisoners of war. You stop wasting your time, these other bitches ain't important. You ain't meditating, you ain't mating with the sauce. Like what the fuck's a noodle if you ain't painted with the sauce? I find it hard to trust the pastor who rather side with the master who preaching we should submit while getting murdered and captured. About how we should wait on God is never our vernacular.
Suave on the track.
Yo, peace and blessings. Let's get it going, man. Let's hit this fire ass.
Whatever it takes. The alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, trippin' making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the odds wanna murder, I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, trippin' making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the odds wanna murder, I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man.
Suave on the track.
The alleyway.
Work is on its way, boy.
Got a 4-5 drum, but a 5 in the street.
I sold my heart right to the streets and I can't play with that. This shit that I did for the streets, I'm not gonna talk about that. I bought my youngins a new 40, told them play with that.
So when a nigga spin the block, how you gon' play with that?
Got a 4-5 with a new drum,
But a new 5 on the streets. Man down on the back blocks and I hop down in the streets.
4-5 with a new drum, but a new 5 on the streets. Man down on the back blocks and I hop down in the streets. Money's on my conscience and I won't let it. Paranoia taking over, I won't let it. Out your right mind, you won't sober. Well, the streets took a toll on you, but you a soldier. This shit I seen too many times before. Drugs taking over, they won't let them go. They make the wrong move, fuck it, we gon' let it blow. He just let me know that niggas' minds ain't right. Only killing for protection. My young niggas got obsessions, but that clout they gon' press him. Consumed by the hate, another snake that's gon' bless him. He's supposed to be your brother, but he's screaming out that slaughter shit. Got a blood oath with my family, that's my tie. Y'all put your faith in me, and now we got it, we gon' all shine. And that's my word to the streets. 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 That's my word. Yeah. I sold my heart right to the streets, and I can't play with that. This shit that I did to the streets, I'm not gonna talk about that. How about my youngins a new 40 talk, play with that. So when the niggas spin the black, how you gonna play with that? Got a full 5 with a new drum, got a new 5 in the streets. Lay down on the back blocks, so I've died in the streets. Full 5 with a new drum, got a new 5 in the streets. Lay down on the back blocks, so I've died in the streets.
Father God, first I ask for forgiveness. I ask that you look past our times that we have fell short. Father God, for that ones who do not know your love, Father God, I know that is my purpose to be a lighthouse in your grace. Wherever you lead my steps, whatever obstacle or hardships to come, I pray that you give us strength in the face of the enemy. Father God, thank you for listening to my soul.
Drop them fire emojis in the chat, y'all.
I sold my heart right to the streets, and I can't play with that. This shit that I did for the streets, I'm not gonna talk about that. How about my youngins a new 40 told them play with that. So when them niggas spin the black, how you gonna play with that? Got a full 5 with a new drum, got a new 5 in the streets. Lay down on the back blocks that I've died in the streets. Full 5 with a new drum, got a new 5 in the streets. Lay down on the back blocks that I've died in the streets.
Suave on the track.
Whatever it takes. The alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me care. I gotta sleep with one eye open. Church been making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling deep my stomach. Paranoid, yeah. I won't let them care. They won't see me care. I gotta sleep with one eye open. Church been making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling deep my stomach. Paranoid, yeah. I can't let them care. They won't see me care. I put attention, all of my blood, all of my veins. They started with perky, now that hair right up his veins. You started with serving, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with dealing, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never just.
You know, I had to really step back and look at my situation for what it was. You know, I had to look at my life like it was a movie. I had to look at all the moving parts. So I can really understand what it was. You know, they say love make you blind. Yeah, I'm introverted. I don't talk to niggas cause I'm constantly serving. I got a trap on top of my back, I got a murder. Half those on the block, the streets wanna murder. This shit come with burdens, the streets wanna murder. Streets wanna murder.
I told you that this gang of ours will come with burdens. This shit come with burdens.
This shit come with burdens. This shit come with burdens. Paint the city red.
City red.
All the shit I see replaying in my head. The streets smoking, so we call them boys instead. Black wanna murder when he caught with another bag. And I pray they would. Yeah. But it was like really, niggas was crooked. Yeah. Playing the pity with niggas that cost no bullet. Yeah. And when the bullet tore,
Well, I had a bullet. Won't from the streets, won't from the trap, don't have no music. I rub my palms on this microphone, it's therapeutic.
I know the streets listen when I talk, I can't abuse it.
I can't abuse it.
I can't abuse it. I don't talk to niggas cause I'm constantly serving. I got a trap on top of my back, I got a murder. Can't balls on the block, the streets wanna murder. This shit come with burden. I'm introverted. I don't talk to niggas cause I'm constantly serving. I got a trap on top of my back, I got a murder. Can't balls on the block, the streets wanna murder. This shit come with burdens. The streets wanna murder. Streets wanna murder.
I told you that this gang of ours will come with burdens.
This shit come with burdens. This shit come with burdens. Yeah, baby, you know why I get it. Stuck in the ground, bitch, I'm on a mission. Over they talking, little baby, I'm different. And on my nuts, I handle my business.
Hey, Erica, I can't.
Shit that I'm giving. I got a problem inside of my mind. I hear the streets talking, they tell me to give it. Yeah, I gotta give it. Yeah, bitch, she tell me I'm tripping. All of my money goes out of my music. Give my son what I was missing. Yeah, I was broke. I never asked niggas for a bag.
I know pop niggas in the jail.
I know the ops stepping in the moon.
I know my head going for a tag. I don't talk to niggas cause I'm constantly serving.
I got a trap on top of my back. I got a murder. Head goes to the black streets. This shit goes.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Y'all already know the fucking vibes, man. It's your brother, Big Aboriginal Power. Man, y'all already know, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. It's a great grand rising, man. I'm feeling good. Energy's good. Got a nice build lined up for you guys. This is my 14th build in a row. I haven't stopped. I gave y'all 14 straight builds in a row. 14 straight builds, man. 14 days in a row. We on a good run with it, man. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but fire information. Hopefully y'all enjoying it. I'm bringing out all this shit, man. You already know how it go. I want everybody to hit that like button, share the live stream, and support the channel, man. It's very, very important for you guys to support the channel. You know what I'm saying? Nigga be putting out this work, putting out this content, breaking these bills. I mean, y'all can at least support it for the time and my effort and my content. You feel me? Hey, Erica, I try to hold it in, sis. There's some gas over here. I tried. I be over here trying to run to the next room sometime. I be coughing. Shit. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Hit that like button, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat that's not able to comment. Shout out to everybody that's in here that's tuning in, that's on their daily commute, riding, just listening. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all. Peace and blessings. Be safe while y'all out there moving around. You know what I'm saying? I want to also take the time out to shout out some of the brothers and sisters that took their time out to comment in the chat. So if you want to comment in the chat, I will shout you out. Let me take the time out to do so with my brothers and sisters. Shout out to Erica Grensell. Shout out to Elizabeth Young, Dre Cobb's Music, Boss Player, my big brother Tayshawn, man. Shout out to Tayshawn, man. Tayshawn pulled up on me yesterday. He was like, yo, Ab, I'm in Philly. I'm like, yo, pull up on me. So I had to pull up in the trenches, man. We was in the hood. We dropping that heat, man. We was out there just kicking and vibing. You know what I mean? On some Aboriginal shit, man. Shout out to my brother Tayshawn. He real nigga, man. Real solid Aboriginal, man. You know what I mean? Real solid Aboriginal, man. You know what I'm saying? He come with it. And he on that type time that I'm on. We're going to wake our people up no matter where the fuck they at, no matter what they on, no matter what gangster shit they talk about. Shout out to my brother Tayshawn, man, for coming out to the trenches with me. Shout out to Bright Mo Deezy, man. Shout out to Enox. Shout out Alpha, Eric Willer, J-Rock. Shout out to my brother King T, man. King T, another one of them brothers who put in work, who pull up on Big Al any given time of the Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Any given Sunday, nigga pull up. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing to it. Shout out to my brother King T. I will be putting together a pop-up within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'll let y'all know in advance. We will be doing a pop-up at an Aboriginal restaurant. We're going to be dropping some information. We're going to have I would like to get a gang of the Aboriginals that's in the tri-state DMV area to come pull up and support. I know Tayshawn going to be there. We'll try to get my brother King T to be there. We're going to try to get a few other brothers and sisters that's in the DMV tri-state areas to pull up, man. Shout out to Shot Alpha in the building. Shout out to Chief Crazy Overstanding. Shout out to Pop Reed in the building, aka Wilmore Reed. Make sure y'all show some love to the elder Wilmore Reed in the chat. Make sure y'all show some love. Shout out to my big brother Hardline X8 Hefe. Shout out to Hefe in the chat, my brother Hardline. Shout out to my brother, man. We definitely got some shit put together for y'all too on that end. Shout out to Khalil, man. He said, tell bro to drop this song already. Man, I know. I've been telling Hellyway, man, you bullshit. You dropping 1 and 2 at a time. Go ahead and just flood the streets with a couple mixtapes. You got overwhelmingly enough content and music and fire-ass, vibing-ass hip-hop to put out to make a couple mixtapes. Shout out to Just Be Real in the building. Mound City Mellow in the building. Fresh One in the building. Fresh One. Turtle Island DG Craig in the building. Antoinette Johnson is in the building. And that's it, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. I need everybody to thumb up the video, man. I need everybody to thumb up the video. Support the channel. Support the channel, man. It's very, very important for you guys to hit that Cash App tag at the bottom right of the screen, man. Shout out to Dre Cobb's Music. Said he kicking it off. He said he kicking it off. Shout out to Dre Cobb Music on the Cash App donation. Hey, man, don't let Dre Cobb Music be the only one to support the channel. We just getting started today. Don't let Dre Cobb be the only one to support the channel. You heard? Let's keep this shit going, man. Let's keep this shit going, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Yoga War Cloud, Brightmo Deezy, Cypher U. Who else? Karma Shabazz. I'm gonna make sure I ain't forget nobody. You know what I mean? Shout out to Dre Cobb once again for the Cash App donation. Make sure y'all support the channel, man. It's very, very important for you guys to thumb up that video and support the channel. Like I said, I'm going on 14 days of heat with y'all, man. I done came up with some fire bills 14 days in a row, man. 14 days in a row. We're gonna get into some shit right now, man. We're about to get into some shit. Let's get into some shit, man. Let's get into the audio. I don't want to hold you guys up any longer, so I kind of want to get straight into the audio right now. If y'all ready for the audio, hit that motherfucking like button. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Shit, I'm tripping. All right, let's talk about it. Let's get it locked in, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If y'all off in this thing, hit that like button.
Old. Well, if you want to watch each episode. With all our advanced technology.
All right, so listen, I got it lined up for y'all. I need y'all to support the channel, man. Let me shout out to a couple people that did support the channel. Shout out to Eric Willer. Shout out to Eric Willer for the Cash App donation. We appreciate that, man. Shout out to Eric Willer for the Cash App donation. We appreciate all the support. Make sure y'all support the channel, man. Y'all be slacking in there. Like, damn, like Big Al ain't coming up with heat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all ain't filling the bill. Like, y'all ain't helping this information go. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all the realest to do this shit, man. Make sure y'all support the channel. My next bill, y'all gonna enjoy too, because it's drama based. I know y'all gonna really like that one. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. I need everybody to support the channel. Cash App tags at the bottom right of the screen. If y'all only got PayPal and other shit, that information is ticking across at the bottom of the screen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, make sure y'all make this shit happen, man. Let's get right into this audio. Let's get it.
We believe we figured out everything there is.
All right, before we even get into the audio, though, I want everybody to hit that like button. I need y'all to hit that like button ASAP. Like, thumb up the video right now. See y'all 30 seconds. I'm a little windy. I'm not giving up. Shout out to the brother Shot Alpha for supporting the $2 challenge. Shout out to Shot Alpha and shout out to Enox. You know what I'm saying? For Telly Hellyway, quit playing and drop that new shit. Hey, I will tell him, man. Hopefully he in here listening now. Hellyway, if you listening, PNB Eli, if you listening, you hear the streets, man. You hear the streets, man. The streets said drop that shit. Stop waiting. Drop that shit, man. What's wrong with you? Don't get to that motherfucking bag, man. Don't get to that type of information that we bring. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Support the channel. Thumb up the video. Let's get right into the audio. I got lined up. Let's go.
Top 5 most mysterious underwater structures ever discovered. With all our advanced technology, many believe we figured out everything there is to know about our planet's past. but the fact is that our world is a staggering 4.5 billion years old. In that time, over 115 billion people have lived here, developed cultures, and built massive cities, some of which are now hiding under our oceans, seas, and lakes. The next 5 structures likely once existed on land, but at some point they were swallowed up by rising waters and forgotten by history. That is, until now. Here are the 5 most mysterious underwater structures ever discovered. Number 5, Lake Michigan Stonehenge. In 2007, Mark Hawley, a professor of underwater archaeology from the Northwestern Michigan College, was with his colleague on Lake Michigan searching for shipwrecks using...
Shout out to Brightmo Deezy, man. Everybody give Brightmo Deezy a round of applause for getting the cash out for the first time, y'all. He said, I told you when I get one, I was going to support the challenge, to support the $2 challenge. Shout out to Brightmo Deezy for supporting the $2 challenge, man. That nigga really got a cash out. Y'all give that nigga a round of applause, man. He ain't that slow like you thought he was. Now I'm just fucking with you. Shout out to my brother Brightmo Deezy, man. That's my big bro, man. He know how to get down. Shout out to Brightmo. We appreciate the cash out donation from everybody that supported already this morning. Make sure y'all keep hitting that like button, supporting the channel. We really appreciate that humbly. You know what I'm saying? From over at Big Aboriginal Power platform. We appreciate all the support. Even the thumbs up, even the sharing, even the comments. We support. We appreciate all that. I mean, keep doing what y'all do as American Aborigines. Just continue.
Stonehenge. In 2007, Mark Hawley, a professor of underwater archaeology from the Northwestern Michigan College, was with his colleague on Lake Michigan searching for shipwrecks using sonar equipment. They made several passes without luck, but were amazed when they found an intriguing set of stones. Divers were sent down to take pictures, and what they found gave them chills.
How many of y'all knew it was an underground structure in Michigan? How many of y'all knew it was a Stonehenge, just like they got over there at Easter Island, already in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, and it's older. It's older. Who was these Negroes? We know that the first metallurgers, the first people to deal with metallurgy was in the Great Lakes area. And it's funny that one of the Great Lakes has one of the oldest monumental structures submerged up under it. How many of y'all knew that already? How many of y'all knew that?
The next 5 structures likely once existed on land, but at some point they were swallowed up by rising waters and forgotten by history.
Until now.
That is, until now. Here are the 5 most mysterious underwater structures ever discovered. Number 5, Lake Michigan Stonehenge. In 2007, Mark Hawley, a professor of underwater archaeology from the Northwestern Michigan College, was with his colleague on Lake Michigan searching for shipwrecks using sonar equipment. They made several passes without luck, but were amazed when they found an intriguing set of stones. Divers were sent down to take pictures, and what they found gave them chills. 40 feet below the surface, there were stones arranged in a circular manner, with equal distances between them. Furthermore, they also found one very curious stone that bore a carving of what looks to be a mastodon, and these creatures have been extinct for over 10,000 years.
So these people who drew these structures obviously seen a mastodon, or woolly mammoth. And you mean to tell me that our people wasn't advanced 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, 30,000 years ago? The more you dive into this ancient history, the more you realize how advanced your ancestors were. It's really ridiculous how advanced they were.
Stones arranged in a circular manner, with equal distances between them. Furthermore, they also found one very curious stone that bore a carving of what looks to be a mastodon, and these creatures have been extinct for over 10,000 years. As of now, it remains unconfirmed if the carving is indeed a petroglyph made by ancient man, but the clear, determined markings seem to point that way. It is believed the Stonehenge underneath Lake Michigan was formed when the lake bed was still dry, which would have been around 12,000 years ago during the last ice age. The regions around Lake Michigan have yielded petroglyphs before. On top of that, during the
The
17th
reason
century,
you don't hear archaeology about shit in the Ice Age is because mainstream sciences tells archaeologists, anthropologists, geologists, forensics, that there's no reason to even look at the period called the Ice Age because humans was not around in North America. This is the story that they give you. They tell you there's no reason to look. There's no reason to look into these ancient areas. There's no reason to go back and dig in the dirt 12,000 years ago because there was no human evidence there, only to be proven wrong time and time and time again with overwhelming evidence of human existence prior to their normal dating. So we know the timeline is off that they give you. You feel what I'm saying? Let's continue.
it is believed the Stonehenge underneath Lake Michigan was formed when the lake bed was still dry, which would have been around 12,000 years ago during the last ice age. The regions around Lake Michigan have yielded petroglyphs before. On top of that, during the 17th century, scholars observed various prehistoric mounds, including what they called sacred stones, dotted all around the Great Lakes. Even the natives say that these stones were placed there by another race in reference to how long ago it was. So it seems likely that what was found at the bottom of Lake Michigan could very well be man-made. It's a relatively new find, so research is still ongoing, but it's intriguing to think that if the stone circles is in fact man-made, then that would make it more than twice as old as the Stonehenge we all know in England. It would also
It will make it twice as old as the Stonehenge in England. So the one in England only like 5,000 years old, and the one in Michigan is 12,000 years old minimum. That's a minimum. They ain't giving you a maximum time how old they really is. They giving you a minimum time. At minimum, they're 12,000 years old. What else do we have at 12,000 years old? We have the Atlantis story. We have the migration of people and animals out of North and Central America during that time. We got the Younger Dryas happening. We got the extinction of all large megaformers happening. What is going on at 12,000 years ago that is not being quite explained correctly? Was it a nuclear war?
predict the current belief that early North American civilizations weren't advanced enough during that time to even build monumental structures in the first place.
He just told you what mainstream science think. Listen to him. Hey, man, we got 122 people in here, man. Hit that like button. Thumb up the video. We need to get like 120 likes in here right now. Share the live stream, y'all. Please share the live stream. Thumb up the video. If y'all want to support the channel, links ticking at the bottom right of the links ticking at the bottom of the screen for the PayPal and Cash App information. It's also at the bottom right of the screen. Make sure y'all go follow me on Instagram at big_Aboriginal_power. Go follow me on Instagram at big_Aboriginal_power. Man, go follow me. Let's get it.
More than twice as old as the Stonehenge we all know in England. It would also contradict the current belief that early North American civilizations weren't advanced enough during that time to even build monumental structures in the first place. Number 4, Cuba's underwater city. While conducting a joint exploration survey with the Cuban government.
Shout out to the Cuban city. Shout out to A1 for bringing that out. A1 brought this information out probably about 4 years ago. On the western shores of Cuba, leading into the Gulf of Mexico, they found the underwater civilization. Not just one structure, multi-structures. Even pyramidal structures similar to what you see in Africa and in North and Central and South America. This is evidence of an advanced civilization before a flood. So we're going to get into the deluge war or the antediluvian war, which is pre-flood war. We're going to get into all that information, man. I want y'all to tap in, hit that like button. Let's talk about this Cuba shit, man. Let's talk about this Cuba shit.
Advanced enough during that time to even build monumental structures in the first place. Number 4, Cuba's underwater city. While conducting a joint exploration survey with the Cuban government, a Canadian company called Advanced Digital Communications stumbled on what could be one of the most intriguing underwater structures ever discovered. Off the western coast of Cuba, found an astonishing 2,000 feet below the water's surface, the team found unusual structures that strongly hints at a set of organized stones, a lot like you would see.
Y'all heard that shit? Let's run that back a little bit. Let's run that back just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button, man. If y'all can hear everything loud and clear, I ain't seen no fire emojis in the chat or nothing. Let me ask y'all real quick before I continue this. If y'all can hear me in the audio loud and clear, drop some fire emojis in the chat. Drop some fire emojis in the chat. Shout out to the son of California for the Cash App donation. He said, "For keep the information coming." Thank you. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I'm glad y'all heard to get the information. I'm keep it coming. Shout out to son of California for supporting the channel. Make sure y'all support the channel as well, man. Shout out to son of California. Once again, let's get it.
Structures ever discovered. While conducting a joint exploration survey with the Cuban government, a Canadian company called Advanced Digital Communications stumbled on what could be one of the most intriguing underwater structures ever discovered. Off the western coast of Cuba, found an astonishing 2,000 feet below the water's surface, the team found unusual structures that strongly hints at a set of organized stones, a lot like you would see in a city or urban area. Armed with more advanced equipment, they went back in 2001 to collect more sonar images. This revealed that some of the structures looked like large cut granite measuring around 8 by 10 feet. There were those that appeared to have been stacked on top of each other like a pyramid, while others were isolated in terms of placement. Other points in the sonar also appeared darker, and since only denser objects would appear darker on sonar, it's possible these could be some kind of metal coating or alloy on parts.
You hear that? Did y'all hear what he's saying? The radar is only able to pick up on dense structures like rock and stone and brick. They're not able to pick up on the metal, and they seen so many dark structures that shows up as metal. The metal urgerers. You know what I'm saying? My niggas fuck around had a metal building back then, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. A real building made of metal. Fuck stone. Nigga, they probably took it to a whole nother level and had motherfucking titanium. Nigga, silver, platinum building. Nigga, this is real shit, man. Y'all heard this shit?
Like a pyramid, while others were isolated in terms of placement. Other points in the sonar also appeared darker, and since only denser objects would appear darker on sonar, it's possible these could be some kind of metal coating or alloy on parts of the structure. These pieces of rock are far too deep to be explored by humans safely. Only sonar scans and videos exist of the various structures that seem to support its man-made origins. One theory supposes that this underwater city sank 15,000 to 50,000 years ago.
Hold on. This nigga just said that the experts estimate that the city up under the western tips of Cuba could be 15 to 50,000 years old. 15 to 50 is a large leap. And mind you, this is not the maximum. This is the minimum how old they is. This ain't the maximum. This is the minimum of how old they is. 15 to 20 to 50,000. 15 to 50, that's a crazy number, man. That would be the most advanced ancient civilization we know in the man. Y'all feeling this bill? Drop them fire emojis, man. Y'all feeling this bill? Drop them fire emojis or support the channel, man. Cash App tags at the bottom right of the screen, man. Hey, we going on 14 days of heat. We're going to cook up another 7 for y'all. We're going on 21 of them things. Nothing but pure heat. Fire information. Make sure y'all support the channel, man. Share the live stream, hit that like button. Let's get
explored by humans safely. Only sonar scans and videos exist of the various structures that seem to support its man-made origins. One theory supposes that this underwater city sank 15,000 to 50,000 years ago. Stories from the Yucatecos, passed down from generations, believe their ancestors once inhabited this small island that sank and vanished beneath the waves. Zalitsky, one of the founders and head of the team, noted that after continued research, they approximated the area to be 12 square miles, a size similar to that of a modern city. Various samples obtained from the area shows that the structures are granite stone and have been polished. The thing is, much of the peninsula along the northwestern portion of Cuba is made from limestone, and the same goes for much of the Yucatan Peninsula. Perhaps the strangest thing about finding an underwater structure of this size and under all these feet of water is that ever since Homo sapiens walked on Earth, the sea level never went below 1,300 feet anywhere. Hence, finding structures or even a former city at a depth of nearly 2,000 feet is a complete mystery. Could we have stumbled upon a unique ancient race? Or maybe it's time we rethink our established views of ancient history and civilizations. Number 3, the Baltic Sea anomaly. This unusual formation or object was first sighted in 2011 when a Swedish treasure hunter and his team, Ocean X, were scouring the Baltic Sea using a side-scan sonar. Dubbed as the Baltic Sea anomaly, this unusual formation has the same look as that of a rough granite. It's around 12 feet thick with a wider diameter around 200 feet. It sits on top of a 25-foot structure, sort of like a pillar, and found at a depth of 300 feet. Another smaller object is also close by, and worth noting is that it seems to be at the end of a long runway or path, almost as if it was dragged a good distance before stopping. The second time the team visited the area, they noted that there seems to be a staircase that leads to a small black hole leading to the inside portion of the structure. Many experts believe it's an odd natural rock formation, while others think it could be a World War II anti-submarine device, which was extensively used by the Germans and the British. Still, UFO experts believe it could be a fossilized UFO that crash-landed into the area. This is fueled in part because of its disc-like shape. However, what's most mysterious about this structure is that Peter Lindbergh, the founder of Ocean X, said that when they were above the object, most of their electronic devices, including their satellite phones, stopped working. When they moved a couple hundred yards away from it, the gear started working again, and it stopped once they returned to the same area above where the object was located. If this is true, what could be causing these signal disruptions? Is this odd structure formed naturally, as some experts contend, or was it formed by someone or something else? To date, no one knows for sure what the Baltic Sea anomaly is or where it came from, but Ocean Team X hopes to explore it in more detail and hopefully provide answers as to what it is and where it came from. Number 2, Gulf of Combat. Once known as the Gulf of Cambay, the Gulf of Combat has become known worldwide as the cradle of civilization. Discovered in 2001 by India's Institute of Ocean Technology, while they were conducting a study on pollution, they unearthed one of the most compelling pieces of evidence that mankind and urban civilizations may be much older than anybody previously thought. The vast city was found using side-scan sonars. It's estimated to be 5 miles long and 2 miles wide. It's submerged at over 120 feet of water and contains various geometrical structures. What's most astonishing is that the entire foundation of the city is said to be atop huge megalithic foundations. When the area was dredged, they recovered various artifacts, including pottery, sections from a wall, and even human remains. Carbon dating was done on a piece of wood, and it showed it to be around 9,000 years old. This brought in a lot of questions.
The wood that was dated was at 9,000 years. I wonder how old the people was. Wood could have often been used as a replacement or a restoration tool to keep the building structure up to date. So the wood could have came at a later date, and they saying the wood is at minimum 9,000 years old.
Since the oldest known civilization is that of the
That's crazy.
Wall, and even human remains. Carbon dating was done on a piece of wood, and it showed it to be around 9,000 years old. This brought in a lot of questions, since the oldest known civilization is that of the Sumerians, which are believed to be around 5,000 years old.
That was in the early 2000s, but according to uh Corral Supe, John Haas, Ruth Shady, and the Smithsonian, and the National Geographic journal report, they said that Corral Supe is 5,500 years old, making it the oldest city in the world and the oldest city found in America. Go look it up. Corral Supe is older than Sumeria.
This city on the Gulf of Combat is showing to be much
I just want to add that in.
of wood, and it showed it to be around 9,000 years old. This brought in a lot of questions, since the oldest known civilization is that of the Sumerians, which are believed to be around 5,000 years old. This city on the Gulf of Combat is showing to be much older than that, predating the Sumerians, Egyptians, and Chinese by thousands of years. No one knows for sure where or who these ancient people are, but there are theories. Some theorists and marine archaeologists propose that it's possible that if indeed the dates are correct, this could be the legendary city of Dwarka, mentioned in the epic Indian text, the Mahabharata. In Hindu mythology, Dwarka is the city where Krishna once lived. It was supposedly a lush city with plenty of trees and strong rivers, as opposed to the present-day Dwarka, which doesn't fit the timeline. It's said that the sea swallowed up Krishna's Dwarka. If indeed the city in the Gulf could be proven to be as old as it is, it could completely turn around our notion of the ancient world. Not only would it prove that man has been around for longer than once thought, but it would also show that the ancient Sanskrit writings aren't just a work of fiction, but instead actual historical texts. Number 1, Japan's Yonaguni Monument. Tour operator Kaiichiro Aratake first discovered Japan's famous.
Now, mind you, when we think of ancient Japan, ancient China, ancient Tijuana, ancient Thailand, all these places, you can't look at the demographic of people that's there now. Just like when you think of ancient South America, you can't just look at the demographic of the people that you see there now. Those people that you see there now often came later than the opposed history is illustrated. I just want to give y'all that as well.
Yonaguni Monument in 1986, when he was scouting for potential scuba diving sites for his company. The underwater formation is thought to be a remnant of an old Japanese civilization.
Listen to this.
Structures in total, and there are 5 others surrounding the main island of Okinawa. Some of these structures include castle ruins, temples, an arch, and what seems to be a stadium. All of these ruins seem to be connected by water channels, and he believes they must date back at least 5,000 years. Researchers think that if this is in fact where an ancient civilization once thrived, it's possible they could have been hit by a tsunami, which sank and engulfed the entire city. The largest tsunami recorded in Yonaguni was in 1771, when it reached a height of about 140 feet. The tsunami in Japan in 2011 reached heights of 128 feet for comparison and killed over 16,000 people. It's very possible that these ancient cities suffered a similar fate. So there were 5 of the most.
Listen, man, there was a couple of them structures. We're going to get into the other half of the bill. I want to give y'all those. Man, if y'all ready for the second half of the bill, man, drop those fire emojis in the chat, man. We ain't even got started. We about to get into the ancient civilizations in America that predates. We talking antediluvian. We're going to talk about Costa Rica. We'll get into a few spots. I want y'all to hit that like button and support the channel, man. If y'all feeling the bill, support the channel. Let me know that y'all support, that y'all feeling the bill. Let's continue this thing out with the fire-ass live stream, man. I want everybody to hit that like button. Let's get into it, man. Hit that like button. Let's go.
Class of humanoids that had long heads, and they're depicted everywhere. They're depicted in their sculpt.
Now, this is the book We're going to be breaking down the book Atlantis in America, highlighting some of the great structures and the history dealing with America and the poles it allegedly being Atlantis. So we're going to get into that right now. Let's go.
It's on the Facebook page. Go to Facebook, as well as extremely wide set. And I've been looking at this stuff for 30 years, probably longer, even before the so-called expert Brian Forrester began his journey of studying longheads. And by the way, I do appreciate his work, but he's just not going far enough. He's not going far enough. You got to get somebody to extract a complete skeleton of one of these Paracas people. And what you do is, and he doesn't do this, and this just drives me nuts, and he's just kind of all over the place, but you need to get the permission from the Peruvian government and get some scientists to support you. Get one of these skeletons, extract the whole skeleton, and do a forensic study. Study the skeletal remains, study the tissues, and what I want to see, and I've talked to a number of physicians, and I have a pathologist friend who's in India. Get into that skull, measure the cranial vault, rather than guessing percent bigger than our current brain capacity. Get in there and actually do the study. Quit guessing. Quit sending DNA evidence.
Hit that like button, man. Support the channel. If y'all ready to get into the second half, support the channel.
From a race that's long gone, there's no way you can see. I mean, these people would scare you if they were walking around in flesh and blood. Their skulls are so wide, and their brains are so big. It's like a cartoon, but these are actual remains of humanoids found primarily in South America. Now, I've seen some very unusual humanoids throughout Central America and Mexico. In fact, there was a class of Mayan humanoids that were probably on a priest class that had these extremely long heads. And people go, the scientists go, oh, they were bound. Oh, they were bound. Well, it's easy to say they're bound without really analyzing them. And most scientists, it's an accepted understanding that these long-headed Maya were they bound their heads. Well, if you talk to the elders, yes, the people who lived there, who are descendants, there were a class of humanoids that had long heads. And they're depicted everywhere. They're depicted in their sculptures. They're depicted in their paintings, and they're depicted in their sculpture. And what's fabulous, what's amazing is if you go to the museums, you can see these figurines, beautifully handcrafted figurines of these long heads. So anyhow, I'm spinning off a little bit on that. Check out the incredible whiteouts. Facebook for ancient. Go to the group page. The other thing that is really cool that I posted is the Osiris. Now, the Osiris is located in Egypt, and I posted a photograph. And this is a megalith of megaliths. And when I say it's a super megalith of megaliths, what I mean is that when you see the stonework, when you see the super-sized stonework that are perfectly cut, and arranged in this structure, it'll blow you away. Title of this photograph is Ancient Megalith Stonemasons of Egypt. And the photograph's taken of Yusuf Erwin, who is a researcher in Egypt. And his grandfather was an amazing guy who passed away just recently. But when you see this Osiris, these perfectly cut stones, and by the way, they guess the date is about 4,000 years old, but they don't have a clue. And when you ask traditional Egyptologists about how they cut these things, they are silent. They cannot explain this building. It's made of megalithic stonework. The average weight of one of these stones is, 100 tons is the average. And when you see this photograph, you'll be blown away. It's just an amazing. I would love to get Dunn on the program again, who wrote a book on ancient technologies of Egypt, just to explain the Osiron. It's just an amazing building, the Osiron. So check it out. It's on the Earth Ancients Facebook page, and it's very, very cool.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Coming to you live from around the world.
Exotic. What's unique about this is we heard from a number of people, but most prominently Clifford Mahoti, about the migration from Central and South America and the island of Mu into the Americas. And he mentioned that there had been found a number of feathers at various burial sites, but these bones that have been documented by archaeologists at the Chaco Canyon are of the entire bird. And what that basically says, and what the article reveals, and I posted it on the Facebook page, the title is Bones of Exotic Macawls Reveal Early Rise of Trade Hierarchy in the Chaco Canyon. This basically shows that there was tremendous amount of trade with probably the Maya. And it's also eye-opening because they're called the Aztec ruin, which means that, perhaps there was Aztec influence. This trade is fascinating to learn about. And, here we go again. Here's something that the elders talked about, the native elders have known about for forever. It's been a tradition of theirs, and yet traditional science refuses to hear their point of view. And so they have to have the hard evidence, I guess. So here's hard evidence of these exotic birds, primarily found in Central and South America, mostly Central America, migrating and being brought up from Mexico into what is now the United States. So kind of fun to hear that kind of thing. If you see the article, there's actually a skull of one of these scarlet macaws that you can look at, that was excavated at Pueblo Bonito in New Mexico. So it's kind of cool to see that. Also a really cool picture of Pueblo Bonito, which is a huge facility and is just fantastic. The engineering alone is pretty cool. So check that out. So today we're going to talk about Costa Rica, and this is an interview that I did with Dr. Ivar Zapp, who's a fascinating individual. Frankly, I didn't know if he was still alive or not. His book, Atlantis in America, Navigators of the Ancient World, was written 20 years ago. It was like a Bible for me because he and his co-author, George Erickson, did some amazing research. And I think you're going to enjoy this interview. And I will talk a little bit about next week's program after it's done. So enjoy. So we've discussed in great detail evidence of advanced civilizations, advanced cultures around the world.
So you heard him. He's illustrating the advanced civilization. He's talking about Ivar Zapp book, Atlantis in America. They highlight certain factors that makes the point to and allude to that America is in that Atlantis is in America.
A lot of these cultures have left a great deal of evidence. My favorite are the Maya, who I believe are significantly older than conventional archaeologists, anthropologists would have us believe. But there are other cultures that are really unknown, that are up and down Central and South America and other places around the world. And for me, it's interesting to note that these cultures all leave us different bits of their existence. Some leave us ruins of their cities. Others leave us sculptures and artifacts. And I personally have seen the reliefs and the sculptures of the Maya, of the Aztec, the Olmec in my travels in Central America. But in 1998, my guest today, who is a research investigator, began and published an amazing book called Atlantis in America, Navigators of the Ancient World. This book was a real eye-opener for me because it not only detailed his view of the ancient world, the world that we only had remnants of, but so revealed of these people. So my guest today is Dr. Professor Ivar Zapp, and I'm just really, really happy to have found him because this book was fantastic. For some reason, I thought he lived in the States, and let me just tell you a little bit about him. He's the former professor of design and architect at the University of Costa Rica, and he co-authored this book with George Erickson, Atlantis in America. Ivar, welcome to the program. It's great to have you.
Thank you, Cliff. It's a pleasure for me to speak to your listeners, and I hope I can answer most of the questions that you have and document it.
Mm-hmm. So I have to ask you this. This book it must have taken you some time to write because it's just full and packed of great information. But what was the impetus? What was the thought behind starting such a book? Were you traveling throughout Costa Rica and you began to see evidence of lost cultures, or what got you interested in writing such a great book?
Well, thank you for the question. It's a good question. Cliff, basically, I didn't expect to be writing about it, but I started in 1983 while I was professor of in the School of Architecture. And I was offered the job, and they asked me, what would I teach? And I said, I would prefer not to teach, but rather to do research on what for did the Indians make these stone spheres, and not go by the usual archaeological interpretation, which basically states that they were made for status and by tribesmen and by primitive corn-growing cultures. And I wasn't convinced, and I had been doing about this subject, so I said I would like to research it with your students of architecture and see if we can come up with some answer. And I did that for 18 years, and at the end it was like natural to put it all together and publish a book on it, because it was a new paradigm that explained the function of these spheres.
Let me just ask you real quickly. When you say you had your students begin looking at this, was it because the evidence was all over Costa Rica of a very old civilization that had been was gone, or was it just based on the Maya? That you discovered?
No. Basically, it's usually thought that there were not big groups of Indians in Costa Rica, and I wanted to know more about it, and this chance meant that I had a lot of resources available. My students, I asked them from the first day, to bring in and read articles about ancient math.
Hey, I'm gonna let this shit go up a little longer. This just getting into the intro of the Ivor Zap Atlantis in America Bill, Advanced Civilization and Technology. We gonna get into the lost science of the masonry, mysterious masonry. You know what I'm saying? Ancient masonry. We're gonna get into all that. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I need y'all to thumb up the video and support the channel, man. Support the channel. You know what I'm saying? I need y'all to support the channel, man. Hit that like button and support the channel. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. We got 140 people in here. We can get each and every one of you guys to share this. We can get 280 people in here. Let's try to get 280 people in here.
And basically, on my field trips, I found out, people informed me that the place I'm visiting used to be an ancient Indian port. And that led me to believe that these do with navigational techniques and people. And then, you know, it led me to look for the ancient, not so ancient, or very professional drawings that were made when the spheres were in their original site. And this was done by people that helped the great archaeologist from Harvard, Samuel K. Lothrop. Mm-hmm. And in his book, I found the blueprints, or one of them, and that was made by a land surveyor with very precise measures. And what he hadn't done, and which I did, that was part of my paradigm in general, with respect to Stonehenge and other megalithic sites in the world, to project the angles that were between spheres. This was a group of 6 spheres whose main axis was north and south, magnetic north and south, which betrays the use of a compass. And 2 small spheres in that group pointed, according to this blueprint, to 19 degrees southwest, and I traced a line on that direction, and it took me from Palmar Sur, which is the area in general where these spheres are found or were found, and took me directly in a straight line as if the mariners were supposed to follow a star to Cocos Island, Galapagos Island, and Easter Island. And yeah, I went, wow.
That's crazy. So these spears that date back 50, 60,000 years ago are alleged advanced technology. There's a mapping technology. It maps out the world with these spears. You were able to navigate with these spears. According to Ivor Zap, he found it in Costa Rica, Easter Island, and the Galapagos Island, which is Turtle Island eventually, where I forget the guy's name, came up with the evolution theory. Y'all help me out there.
That's kind of the basis of the book. But so you believe that part of Atlantis was Costa Rica, is that correct?
That's correct, Cliff. I would say that Atlantis was a worldwide maritime civilization as described by Plato and Critias in the Republic, but he didn't know which particular place it belonged to. It wasn't in the Mediterranean. He said on the other side of the pillars of Gibraltar, and also the fact that he had learned the story from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians talked about the instructors that were called the sea people, and nobody had located where these came from. And I believe today that the traces are here, and the traces can be seen in the local museums, because it's not just the spheres, but also the fact that there are sailboards, there are tables that are actually found to make a compass with a 4 Atlantean figure.
Yeah, the Galactopose island is where what's the guy who came up with the evolution shit? I forget his Darwin. Charles Darwin went there and did his studies there. And this is how he came up with the theory of evolution there. He came up with the theory of evolution there. If y'all enjoying the bill, drop them fire emojis. If y'all ain't enjoying the bill, we can kick it into the next half of the structure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of the bill.
Just holding up the mirror of the heavens, and other instruments that I explain in my book. One in particular, which is important, is called the Kamal, remembered and written about in National Geographic of July 1982, in the article on In the Wake of Simba, where they were building an original boat that Simba the sailor used to go from Yemen all the way to China to bring silk to come back. They're recreating the whole trip, and an Arab, local Arab person came over and said, "Do you know what a kamal is?" And they said no, and he showed it, that they were like square pieces of wood that has a string attached to them, with which they had a standard distance from the mouth, and you bit into the string and you extend it and looked at the North Pole and at the horizon of the ocean, and you measured how high or what latitude was the North Pole, and with that they established their own altitude.
I have to ask you real quickly, though, but and this is something that is really, really touchy. Most conventional archaeologists and anthropologists, university funded, don't really take into consideration a lot of the material that you have in your book. But people like Dr. Greg Little, it's even mentioned in Edgar Casey's writings and things like that, and a number of other independent research investigators believe that the Maya might have been descendants of a very sophisticated race. What is your belief on the Maya? Are they possibly...
I'm gonna stop it right here. We're gonna get into the second half of the video, man. Before I get into the second half, I need everybody to hit that like button, thumb up the video, and share the live stream. Hey, if y'all want to support the channel, PayPal information taken across the screen, Cash App information at the bottom right of the screen. The most important thing y'all can do is hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right. Hit that like button. Let's get it.
Power their craft to perhaps run their city. We know this with the America, Raphael Eastman. So here's a quick few-minute audio on what these places are and their antiquity.
Bolivia, South America. Here, 45 miles west of La Paz, isolated high in the Andes Mountains, lie the mysterious ancient ruins of Pumapunku, spread across a desert plateau at an altitude over 12,000 feet.
Yeah, we got 140 people in here and only got 44 likes. That's why the algorithm ain't pushing the information out, man. We got to get them likes up so the YouTube will push it out. You know what I'm saying? We need y'all to hit that like button. Share the live stream. It's very important for you guys to share it on all your social media. You feel me? If y'all tag me and share it on Instagram, at me, and I'll share it on my story. You know what I'm saying? Giving a shout out to y'all page as well. Make sure y'all share the live stream, man. Let's get it cracking up. Let's go.
The megalithic stones found here are among the largest on the planet, measuring up to 26 feet long and weighing more than 100 tons each.
These are the mysterious ruins of Puma Punku, nearly 13,000 feet in the Altiplano of Bolivia. What you have here are massive blocks of granite scattered like some kids' toy blocks around the site. It's like some giant cataclysm just wiped out this entire area. Archaeologists are baffled by what Puma Punku was, how it looked, and what the purpose of this enormous structure would have been.
Mainstream scientists believe the site was originally constructed about 2,000 years ago. But in 1945, archaeologist Arthur Poznansky proposed that Puma Punku was much, much older. By examining the structures and what he believed were their original alignment with the stars, he dated the ruins to 15,000 BC.
Arthur Poznansky was a researcher, part Bolivian. He had worked at the site for many decades, and he concluded that the site must have been built about 17,000 years ago by studying the archaeoastronomy of that particular site.
We don't know how old Puma Punku is. We have had some circumstantial dating, but we have been unable to date the stones of Puma Punku themselves. They could be thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years old. We don't know.
I think the fascinating thing about Puma Punka is how did these structures get built? We're talking about stone that is 25 feet high, stone that is hundreds of tons.
Puma Punku is so unique in the way that it was constructed and shaped and positioned that it is the most intriguing ancient site on the planet. Of all the places I've ever visited, Puma Punku is the one that I go back to time and again because no one can solve the mystery.
Mainstream scholars believe the andesite blocks found at Puma Punku were formed by hand with primitive stone tools. But some researchers point to the intricate stonework as evidence of the use of advanced precision technology.
One of the amazing things here at Puma Punku is the precision of the blocks. You can see with this block of granite that it's really been cut at very accurate right angles. Not only do these granite blocks have precision corners, but they also have these difficult drill holes that are going right through the rock.
But how could such primitive people, living perhaps tens of thousands of years ago, have produced such flawless stonework? Might the ancient builders of Puma Punku have fabricated the megalithic stones with advanced technology?
If you look at the stones carefully and you get a magnifying glass on some of them, you can see some intricate stonework, as though they're using machine tools or even lasers. It's absolutely incredible. I've seen nothing like it anywhere on the planet.
Now, any talk of aliens is a disservice to the human beings that created these wonderful places.
Yo, this nigga said the shit I was just now about to say, man. Go on, talk this shit, white.
Intricate stonework, as though they're using machine tools or even lasers. It's absolutely incredible. I've seen nothing like it anywhere on the planet.
Now, any talk of aliens is a disservice to the human beings that created these wonderful places, Tiwanaku and Puma Punku. It doesn't first of all, there's no writing, there's no history, there's no mythology behind alien interactions at that place. There are myths of the white gods, the Viracocha, who a lot of the statuary at these places, most notably at Tiwanaku, are noted. And we have a somewhat of a historical background with the mythology of these creator gods, the Viracocha, and we'll talk about that today. The other thing to keep in mind is that, and I've said this before, it's looking like the previous epic that was destroyed, and I mentioned this a little bit, was significantly more sophisticated and advanced scientifically than we were. It looks like they were able to tap the natural energetics of the earth, and that is the magnetic fields, geomagnetic fields, and use them to power their craft, to perhaps run their city. We know this with the Maya. Their pyramids actually captured telluric fields, enhanced them, and distributed the energy. We still don't know how the energy was transmitted, but my guess, and what the natives tell me, is that very, very similar actions to what Tesla developed in the Wardenclyffe Tower was how it was applied. And Wardenclyffe distributed and bathed a certain amount of space in the atmosphere with this energy, and this is what drove the aircraft, the underwater.
Hey man, y'all want me to continue this bill? I just need y'all to hit that like button and support the channel. Support the channel. I can end this motherfucker. I don't know if y'all feeling it. We're getting less and less in the chat. Need y'all to share the live. Hey, if y'all feeling it, hit the like button. If y'all feeling it, share the live. You enjoying the bill, support the channel. I got some shit coming up for y'all next time. I got some shit for y'all too. Trust me, all this week.
Craft, land-based craft, and everything else prior to the Maya, and it's probably handed down to the Maya from the mother culture, who were using similar types of devices. So, we know from John Burke. Remember John Burke? I haven't talked about John Burke very much lately, but in his book, he talks about analyzing Pumapuku and Tiwanaku with his equipment and discovering that the stonework was a conductor for energy, and he actually picked up faint geomagnetic fields. So it's hard to say, because we have no clue how the technology worked. It's hard to say if these buildings were magnets that drew the energy from the earth into the buildings, or perhaps they were conductors, and as the energy came up, it was just picked up and distributed. It's so far and beyond anything we can conceive of that it's almost like a fairy tale when we start thinking about it. But the scientific method fails miserably when it comes to analyzing these ancient places. And this is why there's a disconnect between modern science and archaeological research with an open mind to the possibilities of electromagnetic field generators, electromagnetic energy, running civic centers, running buildings, and allowing people to get around in machines. So, yeah, I mean, as funny as that sounds, it's true. The scientific method fails miserably when it comes to analyzing ancient societies. So our program today is Forgotten Civilizations of South America. We're
just now about to get into it, so I need y'all to hit that like button, man. Support the channel. Support the channel, man. Cash out tags at the bottom right of the screen if y'all want to support the channel. Let Big Al know that y'all support, that y'all feeling the bill. That I end this. And I gotta prepare. I got something lined up for y'all guys tomorrow as well, too. I got something real nice for y'all.
researcher. He's a Chilean in the South American Chile military catastrophe, on and on and on. This is somebody that I've just been wanting to interview for many, many months, and we finally got a space on the program to have Raphael on the program with us. And today we're going to talk about not only ancient unknown South American cultures, but specifically Tiwanaku in Bolivia, and an article. We're going to focus on an article he wrote in Ancient America magazine called An Aeronautical Model of Tiwanaku, Evidence of a Remote Technology in Pre-Hispanic World. So, Raphael, it's a real great pleasure to have you on Earth Ancients. How are you doing today?
Well, thanks, Cliff. Thanks for inviting me to your program. I'm very honored and very happy to be part of this program and share with everyone some of the research we have been working, especially in Tiwanaku, which is one of the most fascinating places, not only in South America, but I would say also in the world.
Now, talk a little bit about your curiosity as a historian. I mean, you actually were educated in history and in research and things. What was your interest in ancient cultures? Was it a field trip you took as a Chilean? You were, or was it visits to museum? What is your interest in ancient South American history?
Hey, I wish they showed this shit too. Don't do it. If they showed it, I screen share. I'm gonna pull some shit up and start screen sharing tomorrow. I'll get back to the screen sharing tomorrow. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Depends on how the support go, how y'all hit the like button, how y'all share the live stream. It just depends. You know what I'm saying? I might get back to the screen share.
Well, I must say that there are many factors, of course. One of the first things that I would say actually caught my attention was that when I was a teenager, my family and we lived in Kenya, in Africa, and there we heard about this cradle of mankind. And I asked myself back then, like, wow, that's a real like important subject. How did they come with the fact, to say something like this is the cradle of mankind? So when we came back, started to study, of course, finish high school, start, to study, like.
Hey man, I'm gonna end this live stream, man. We'll crack up something else tomorrow, something special for you motherfuckers. We'll kick up something special for you motherfuckers tomorrow. Hit that like button, share the live stream. Shout out to all the American Aborigines that tapped in and tuned in to the live. This was a nice one though, man. This was a nice one. You know what I'm saying? Can y'all hear me loud and clear? Are we good? Can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me, drop a fire emoji. Y'all can hear me, drop a fire emoji. Shit. We about to get the fuck out of here, gang. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Somebody said copyright strike. Oh, no copyright strike. All right, so y'all can't hear. All right, man. Peace and blessings to all American Aborigines, man. I want to say peace and blessings to everybody in the chat. I will kick off some fire tomorrow. I might even do another one later on. I don't know. We'll see how the energy works. We'll see how the energy works. Shout out to my nigga Hawk Skull. What's up, Empress? What's up, Darius? Everybody good? Shit. I could drop the link in the chat real quick just to get a little conversation with y'all, see what's going on. I could get a little convo in this bitch. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Y'all already know the vibes, man. Y'all know the vibes. Hit that like button before we get out of here, man. We got 122 up in here. 127. Yeah, man. This was just a little snippet, man. Just a little snippet. You know what I mean? Gotta stay back. I got some shit I want to get into, though. Got some shit I'm going to get into. Y'all hit that like button. Support the channel before y'all get out of here, man. Make sure y'all support the channel before y'all get out of here. General Peace, what's up? Yeah, we was Big Hawk. We'll get to 200. Tomorrow when I go live, we guarantee to get 200 in this bitch. You hear me, Hawk? Guaranteed. I got some shit for y'all. We guaranteed to get 200. Man, I want to say peace and blessings to everybody, man. Make sure y'all be safe, man. Y'all know I love chopping it up with y'all, man. Y'all know I love chopping it up with y'all. I get up every morning just to go chop it up with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Before I even get my day started, I gotta say, man, let me go chop it up with my family from across America. You know what I'm saying? Cousins. You know what I mean? So you already know the vibe. You already know the vibes, man. Anybody got some questions before we get out of here? No? No questions? I just want to make sure we good for y'all niggas to get out of here. No questions? All right, then. All righty. With that being said, I want to say peace and blessings to everybody that tuned into the live. Shout out to all the American Aborigines, all the FBA brothers and sisters tapping in. Make sure y'all support the channel. Make sure y'all support the channel. I missed what book they was reading from. They was reading from Ivar Zap. It's called Ivar Zap, Atlantis in America. I will try to put the link in the description at the end of this live stream. I'm trying to get in my PDFs and put that description, link to the book in the description box, y'all. So make sure you hit that like button, support the channel. We out here. With that being said, man, make sure y'all be safe, stay aware, stay vigilant, stay dangerous. It's your brother Big Aboriginal Power. We out. Peace.
Suave on the track.
Whatever it takes. The alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me care. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, deep my stomach, paranoid, yeah. I won't let them care, They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, deep my stomach, paranoid, yeah. I can't let them care, They won't see me, yeah. I put attention, all of my blood, all of my veins. They started with Perky, now that hair right up his veins. You started with serving, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with dealing, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never the same. I know some niggas that lie behind, and that bullet had his name. Ain't no reason to cry about, cause that shit won't never change. MT